Hello. So I need a gift to give to an art person, and I was doing some thinking. I have some dice, whole slew of them that you can't see because they're in my hand. And I was thinking, why not do like a random art generator sort of thing. The idea being that they would pick a category or a series of categories and then let the dice decide what they're gonna draw or paint or sculpt or whatever. And I'm thinking of a few different categories. So like the subject that they're gonna be creating, the medium. So like, are they drawing with a pen and pencil? Are they sculpting it? Are they painting? If they're painting, then what with? What kind of style is it in? What is the vibe? I'm also thinking about throwing together a kind of longer list of specific prompts, where it might be a mix of kind of vague prompts with some very specific prompts, so that no matter what, there's something going on. My other thought is the dice come in this little bag, which is handy because it keeps it all together. But if I'm going to make this little booklet, I would like to keep it with the dice so that it's all kind of together. So I'm thinking about also making a little bag. Basically what I'm thinking is like one of those dice holders that like you roll your dice into. That way when it's all folded up, the booklet can be kept with the dice, but then it can all be opened up. You can roll the dice into it and it doesn't get lost. So that's the plan. So the first step of this whole process is to make the booklet. So to the computer. Woo! So I have my pages here. This is a blank page. There we go. I have my pages here. They are all already sorted and organized. What I need to do now is fold them, trim them because they are a full-size sheet of paper. The booklet's gonna be quite a bit smaller than that. And then sew it. And then I also need to make the cover. And for the cover, I kind of want to do a custom design. So we're gonna break out the gel printing plate and have some fun. Let's go. So taking a break to eat some food because I am starving. I thought this would be a great opportunity to also check in. So I gave myself a few different options as far as the cover is concerned. I have to wait for those to dry before I can really progress at all. So those are on the rack drying. The booklet itself is exactly 2 signatures. I probably could have done it as 1 signature, but I didn't really want to. What's gonna happen is once the cover's dry, I'm going to stab holes into everything, sew the signatures into the cover, and then the booklet will be finished. So as soon as the covers are dry, I will get to sewing. So. Booklet done. I did a simple saddle stitch for both signatures, so it's a pretty clean spine. I really like kind of the texture that the paint gave it. It's definitely giving kind of a fun, naturey, abstract vibe. Most intensive part of this was really just coming up with everything that went into the booklet, including the instructions, the subjects, basically all of the categories. So the next time I see you, we are going to work on the dice bag. So I'll see you then. Welcome to another day. Today we're gonna start working on the bag. So I have this fabric that has just been sitting around since like Halloween. I am going to try to make a round template to cut out just a circle of fabric, and then what I'm gonna basically do is hem it with a gap so that I can then feed basically just a drawstring through. It's gonna be real simple. It was in fact not really simple. Using a plate as a template, I did draw a circle and it turned out perfectly fine. I cut out the circle, which also turned out perfectly fine. However, my sewing machine and I have a very, how should I say, love-hate relationship. It's not even that. It's more of a hate-hate relationship, and it just was not working out for me. So after several frustrated attempts, here is some version of me with a new plan. Foam, because I have leftover foam from my armor project. Basically what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut probably 2 rectangles with rounded short edges. Build the shape that I want in the Cricut app, and then run this foam through the Cricut, glue it together, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so I have changed my mind. So I have my 2 foam sheets here that I just did with my Cricut. They are a little over 12 inches long, and about 8 inches wide. So I was originally planning on just kind of putting them together and then doing a drawstring, but it is foam, which has me a little concerned about if the drawstring does work, how fast it's going to wear through the foam. I was kind of thinking about doing a cross pattern. I would need to make one a little bit thinner than the other for this to work. But then I have this guy, which is from plan A, that I could just kind of sew in. It would adhere there, and then this side would also come up and adhere in the middle. I think that's what I'm going to go with. So in order to do that, the foam piece that's going to be in the middle, I'm going to need to thin out. Cool, let's go. Okay, let me show you where we are at with it. I have attached Velcro so everything stays nice and easily shut, opens easily, lots of space for the book to be in here. And then I added the drawstring bag that the dice came with, largely because since this whole thing is no longer a drawstring design, which is what I originally intended, I was just worried about the dice falling out. You just open up the drawstring bag, and then you can just sort of throw the dice out, and then of course everything just sort of folds back up nicely. I'm doing this one-handed. So now that the basic element of this is done, now it's looking kind of bland and black, and it's foam, so it's showing like every little ding and dent and scratch on it, like I just scratched it right there. So what I'm gonna do now is break out some paint and decorate this thing. Okay, so to wrap up, it's done. It's in a nice little packet. For as simple of a project as it is, I was surprised with the issues that I had. I think I would have liked it better overall had things gone to the original plan. I think the biggest issue that I have with the current design is that when it's fully open, it kind of just looks like a pad with wings, which is fine, but not really the vibe that I was going for. Excited that I was able to kind of work through some of the complications, but also I think if I were to do this again, I would go back to my original idea with sort of the circle and the pull string, and I would have used probably a softer fabric that I could have sewn with like a yarn, because I think it still would have given kind of the vibe that I wanted without having to rely so heavily on machinery that I do not understand. But practically it does exactly what I want it to. It's large enough that I can put my little booklet in. So I can't say it's my favorite thing that I've ever made, but all things considered, how many little issues I had and for how quickly it came together overall, I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of it, what would you have done differently, and what should I make next? Sound off in the comments, like, subscribe, whatever YouTubers say, and I will see you next time. Bye!